What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we have Corey Sanchez 405 from On the Warpath on the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you coming through. He's on vacation and everything.
Man, I appreciate you having me, Tim. Thanks so much. It's a pleasure to be on here with you, man, and talking about our boys in Burgundy and Gold. I'm ready to rock and roll.
For sure. We're definitely going to hop into a bunch of stuff Washington football tonight, for sure. First, I just want to talk a little bit about you real quick. Congrats on hitting 2K this offseason.
Thank you.
I saw that your video, that was, a month ago now or so? But that's awesome. And I just wanted to ask, you've been getting a lot of big names on your channel this year. I went back and, you haven't done these kind of things in the past on your channel. So how does it feel interviewing some of these people like Julie Donaldson, Bram Weinstein, the voice of the Skins, and then Scott Jackson, longtime radio guy, and many more, including the Tim Sports Talk. No, I'm just kidding. But
no, you're on there, man. You're one of the big voices. Don't discredit yourself. No, it's been awesome. It's been humbling, and at the end of the day, it's really you're just talking to people, man. And I've always told people, like my family, I tell my fiance, my friends, I tell them, I said, if I get Julie Donaldson or Doc Walker or somebody on there, and that's not Corey that you know in person, I want you to call me immediately and be like, look, that's not you. You're not comfortable. Don't like cut that out. And that's what I kind of treat it as. I always give them like a something funny. Scott Jackson was one where he was talking about Mac Jones being the next Tom Brady, right? And I was like, hold on, Scott, calm down now, calm down. And we had a good laugh over that. Doc Walker, I made fun of one of his quotes one time. Julie Donaldson, I called her an alpha leader because she has enemies. Her enemies surround her. Santana Moss at Miami, where she went to Florida, and then she had Fred Smoot, her SEC rival there at Mississippi State. So it's really cool. It's humbling, and people always ask me like, how do you do it? I just ask. That's all you do is ask, and the worst thing they can do is say no. And I've gotten a couple of no's, but I've gotten a lot of no answers. So it's like, when you go out on your first date, or you're trying to get to this girl that you really like, and you're like, oh God, she left me on red. Oh no, she didn't reply. It's pretty much like that, but no, it's cool. It's exciting.
For sure. And actually, that was the next question, so you already answered it. But is there emails or something that's public? Is that how you end up doing these things, or is it Twitter or
Twitter, Instagram? If I do find the email, I will send it to them. But yeah, pretty much a lot of them have been Instagram and Twitter for the most part, and they'll say, "Hey, can you email this to me because I've got to, I've got to have this on my calendar." Like Julie's not really in charge of her own schedule for the most part because she's so busy. She has somebody who mans that. And shout out to her assistant Ebony, who was really the coordinator of that interview. And she got back. She said, "Hey, she's not doing it right now, but we'll get back to it." And then like a couple months later, she's like, "Hey, we're ready to do it again." So it's been pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I gave Ebony props because it's a lot of people who go into making that happen sometimes, especially within the organization. And then some folks, they're just like, "Hey, we're DJ," and kind of like what Nadi said, LinkedIn and Facebook work as well too. I'm not a LinkedIn stalker. That's Nati right there. He stalks that LinkedIn, man, because he's going to be a lawyer, so he's got to have dirt on some of these people later on in life.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Nadi, and he does a great job of getting a lot of people on his channel as well. So definitely subscribe to him if you haven't already. I'm sure most of you have, but last couple of things. So, do you plan? Did you have aspirations to do this as for a job one day, or is this kind of just something you do for a hobby and you actually have another great job that you love?
Yeah, I do this on the side. I do it for fun. I never really got into it to get monetized or get recognition. I just really use it as a springboard to talk about what I love, and that's the team. I mean, a lot of people might not know this, but I'm in academic fundraising. I work at a college, and so it's kind of interesting. A lot of folks might not see the parallels between it, but it's about meeting strangers where I work at. And I've met strangers through here. I've met some great people like you, Nati and Tony as well. I sees up in here, and you have to start cold with a lot of people, and then you burn up with that relationship and you get it going, and then you have stuff like this. And it's the same way when you go out and ask people for a donation to a place that you really are passionate about. And I work at my alma mater, and if you can't get passionate about your alma mater or anything, then what are you? why are you in that business, man? But yeah, I don't like. I mean, I guess it depends on what the man upstairs wants for me, right? Like if he wants me to have this full time, it's gonna be on the line for me. If not, if this is something that I'm just gonna be as a hobby, it's gonna be as a hobby, and I'm gonna do the best. I'm gonna be my 100% self in it going forward, man. That's so I like living in the medium and taking one step at a time, as old and corny as that sounds. So.
Hey, I think you do a great job. I love watching the interviews.
It.
The only one that I refuse to watch is Bram Weinstein. Not a big fan, but I watched most of the other ones. So, but no, it's cool. And the last thing I just had is what's coming next for your channel? What's next on the Warpath?
Well, you see how those position videos went. I really got. I said, hey, we're gonna do these position videos, and then training camps here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because you know how your schedules get in. I had the graphics all designed for it and everything. It's just sitting down and doing the videos. I might do it through training camp, but the way training camp's going and everything else, that might actually have to go on the back burner. And we'll do live streams during the ball games like we always do. I'm going to start preseason on the 12th. It's going to be the Patriots, so I'll be live for that. And I mean, just going to make it exciting and somewhere where people can come and you know how it is, Tim, making people comfortable around you. You have a following, you have these bands of brothers and sisters in these groups, and it's just somewhere where people can just chill out and have a good time. And we get everybody. We've got 49er fans, Cowboy fans, Giants fans that come up in here, trolls, friends of the program. It's all, I mean, it's great. And, Juan Gotti's going to come on a couple of times with me, and I'll be on his channel during some lives as well during the ball game. So it's going to be, cool. But yeah, we're going to be doing these lives as well. Coming up here pretty soon. Excited.
Perfect. Yeah, you just talked about them all. And yes, Protex in the house, Yuki, the 49er fan that you spoke of, Nadi, and Jairus, my co-host on the Chris and Tim podcast. Yep. And he had a great talk with Nadi and Protec on Protec's channel. Check that out if you haven't already. So that was a lot of fun. He ended up having a bunch of people on. It was like 7 or 8 of them, I think, that ended up hopping on. But fun stuff. Fun stuff. All right. Well, enough about Corey.
Thank you.
About Corey. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
No, let's hop into some Washington football discussions, just like what we're all here for. And first up, the big news came yesterday. Jonathan Allen, the day before training camp, got his big extension. 4 years, $72 million, $18 a year. You like it? You know? What's up with it?
So I guess I got to do a little bit of apologizing to John Allen, because I said I wanted to package him for an Aaron Rodgers deal. But I think it's a good deal for the most part. And I've said this before. I think on good days, on even bad days, he's the third, maybe fourth best interior defense lineman that we have. But when you have interior linemen like we do, Deron Payne, Matt Ioannidis, Tim Settle, that's not bad, because I think you could put all 4 of these guys. You can't tell me a team in the NFL wouldn't want to take one of these guys, not if you're not the Rams, and put these guys in their starting lineup, right? Because these guys have done some good things. John Allen, he does get a bad rap at times because he doesn't show up on the stat sheet. We get that. But he does command the double team. But if you're getting paid big money, if you're a first-round pick, you got to do a little bit more than just getting grades and hash marks on what Pro Football Focus is doing. You got to go in there, get the tackles. He's probably our best run-stopping tackle. And, with Matt Ioannidis being hurt half the time, while I think he is our best defensive tackle, the best thing is availability for us, right? In that situation, Deron Payne, he can do a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, this is about John Allen. I think that I think this is a good move for the Burgundy and Gold, bringing back John Allen, a local kid, and then to this, Tim, obviously he wants to be here. People are crying and drooling over Brandon Sheriff. If Brandon Sheriff does not want to be here, I don't want you here. Apparently, Jonathan Allen wants to be here. He wants to stay at home. He's not like LeBron James, right? He doesn't have to go to South Beach and be like, oh, I'm going to take my talents there because I've been in Northern Virginia most of my life outside of going to Alabama. He had that fun down there at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But either which way, John Allen is here. And, I like it, man. I like him being back. He's here. He wants to be here.
I absolutely love it. And Jonathan Allen, as far as I think he's a phenomenal player, and he would be a starter anywhere else, and he did start most of last season after Matt went down, and he would be a phenomenal starter. And people would be jumping for joy if they got their hands on Jonathan Allen, and we were lucky to get him at pick number 17 because of that shoulder nonsense that ended up. I mean, so far so good. No hear about that. So. I absolutely love it, and $18 million is exactly what I wanted to pay him. And I think it was Nadi that brought up last night on the Pro Text that Leonard Williams got over 20, and he had one great season, right? So this guy could have gotten a whole lot more money on the market. So he actually, I think, took a team-friendly deal,
right?
In a sense, where he could have really hit home. I know Chris has talked about $24 million he would pay him if he was on the. I don't know if that's what he would actually get, but I'm just saying is. There's a lot of money that could have been out there for him. And as you said, local kid. And one of my favorite parts about him is he is just one of the most high character dudes on the team, if not the most high character. Like, it's awesome what we're getting out of an Alabama coached individual. And it's awesome. I'm absolutely floored when I heard that this was happening because I thought this might be heading down another Brandon Sheriff. As you said, no more BS, Brandon Sheriff.
Bro, and I think we were in the range with the prices. I know Chris gives John Allen a hard time, but it was about that $16 to $18 million range. And Chris said he wouldn't go over that 17 range, but we in there. We can compromise a little bit with that because like me, I've been critical. I know Chris has been critical of him too, but I think it's a good deal. It kind of shows you what Marty Hurney is good at, right? And what Rob Rogers is, and that's getting a good deal for him, and $30 million up front for him, and that signing bonus, all the good stuff. But yeah, I think it's a good move. And then you've got you're going to have the cap go up, so you got it done before the cap goes up next year. That is good. You got it done with that minimal cap space that they had decreased, and next year when it goes up, Lord willing, hey man, we could be set up, man. We could be set up pretty good, man.
Yeah, where will he end up being? He's actually not even going. He's going to be the 5th highest paid D tackle when his contract finally hits over the cap. So yeah, that was going to skyrocket if we waited one more year, just like you said. So
yeah,
awesome. And now we're going to hop into the other contract that just happened today. Oh, Corey's excited for this one. And there might be more fireworks on this one. So Logan Thomas signs a 3-year extension worth $24 million, goes from the 28th highest paid tight end, and in one season of production, he goes to the 8th highest paid tight end. And I could tell already you're extremely excited.
I heard that. Look, I heard that venom. I heard that venom that you had, and you gotta. I know this is your show, Tim, but you gotta calm down on disrespect. That 1 year of production. I heard that, brother. I heard that.
Oh, I'm not a fan of it.
I know you're not. I saw the production notes. But I'll give you one number. I'll give you this: 5-1. When he scores a touchdown, Washington is 5-1. Could have been 6-1 if Ron didn't go for a 2-point conversion in New York. This guy was the second leading receiver on this team last year. He was 3rd in receptions. He played in the most offensive snaps of any player who wasn't a lineman, right? So every skill position player that he was playing in 92% of the offensive snaps last year. And dude, for what he did, guys who have played probably tight end since high school. And I always heard Jeremy Sprinkle had sticky fingers, right? Oh, I'm sorry, that's when he shoplifting at Belk. not when he's playing ball. 3 backup tight ends who have played tight end before in college or in the pros managed 3 receptions for 18 yards last year. They were glorified anorexic offensive linemen, Tim.
Minus
This
the
guy,
glorified.
glorified or unglorified for all this.
Yeah.
The unholiness that it is. But man, this guy is a great story. He had this big body when he was at Tech. He had the speed as well. I've always been a Logan Thomas fan when he was a quarterback. A lot of people don't realize this is he played against Ron Rivera in that playoff game when Arizona went to Carolina back in 2014. But he played the backup role there, and he had to come in and spot duty. And of course, the Cardinals lost there. Then he went to Buffalo, got built into a tight end, even played us, scored a touchdown against us when he was at Detroit, and broke Ryan Kerrigan's face mask, kind of tilted his head. I'll be back. But I love this guy. I love Logan Thomas. I love Pete Hainer, the tight end, the guy who resurrected Greg Olson's career, is now putting Logan Thomas on the pathway to success there. And the only thing you get out is only really $10 million guaranteed. So that I mean that's a good deal for him. And hopefully they can find a way. Scott Turner can get him open, and whoever the quarterback's going to be, it could be you, me, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Taylor Heineke. And he did this too with 3 different quarterbacks, man. So I like the move, man. I called this. I'll be self. I called it. I told y'all this last August that this man was gonna be something. And look at him.
Hey, I'll start with the praise, okay? And
okay.
the praise was that Pittsburgh game. That was one of my favorite performances by a Washington football team player he was doing everything in that game. 9 catches, 98 yards, touchdown, and the play of the game that never gets talked about, that when it was TJ Watt stripped, had it in his grips, was about to run it in for a touchdown, and Logan Thomas dove in and stole the ball and saved the game. Because I think we were down at that point, and if they would have got it in our side of the field, they could have easily scored it and just ran away with it. Momentum would have completely shifted. So I'll start with the praise. I think he did great, and there's a great argument that he should have been a Pro Bowler last year in the NFC. Evan Ingram getting it, who knows why. But he definitely was statistically good enough to be a Pro Bowl in a down year. George Kittle was hurt. A lot of other players. We'll see what Robert Tonyan does this year. I don't view him as a top 10 tight end right now, okay? So I don't think I would have paid him top 10 money because he's the 8th highest paid. I also think that he is a replaceable dude where we need money to pay some of these guys down the line that are more impactful, in my opinion. The Deron Paynes, the Terry McLaurins, the Montez Sweat, Cameron Curl, I think is going to be a phenomenal player that we're going to have to pay. So there's going to we all know he's a phenomenal player, but you get the idea. And there's other players that I think are more crucial that I think that this guy could have been replaced. Because you just talked about how it's probably a lot of the coach, if anything. Obviously, Logan had to go out and do it, so I'm not going to minimize that. But I think that, first of all, we drafted a tight end. I know you like him. I was down on him, but he's growing on me a little bit when I found the comparison to Kyle Rudolph, that I think that, all right, if he could be a Kyle Rudolph, that could be a great 4th-round pick. And then we could easily have drafted another one next year. Who knows who's going to be coming out, but I would have loved Tommy Trimble there in the 3rd round that we left go this year. There was other options that I think would have been cheaper instead of paying this guy $8 million a year for the next 3 years after this year. So that's my big problem with the Logan Thomas signing. But you did bring up a good point, and I will admit, it's only $10 million guaranteed. So if he does go down in production and start to, because I think he is going to go down in production. A lot of people, but because Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't throw to his tight ends, that's a big deal, right?
Well, once Ryan Fitzpatrick gets benched, we don't have to worry about that. When he gets benched, it's no we'll see. It will happen, Tim. As sure as we're sitting here, you know that will happen. His ineptitude will come through, and then you're going to have somebody you're going to need to rely on, aka Logan Thomas. But I'll ask you this, Tim: if I gave you a choice, who had the better season last year? Logan Thomas or Austin Hooper, who was the highest free agent tight end last year?
Well, I mean, obviously, hindsight being 2020, Logan Thomas by a mile because Austin Hooper, I think, is higher paid even after this contract.
He stole money pretty much. This is what. So exactly, Austin Hooper and Njoku, who was a guy people wanted us to trade for, right? This was their combined stat line last year: 65 catches, 648 yards, 6 touchdowns. The two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me go here. Let me see what we got. These are prescriptions so I can see. Logan Thomas outclassed him.
He did.
And you look at some of the free agent tight ends from last year. He outplayed Hunter Henry last year. He had better numbers than him. He had better numbers than Jacob Hollister was one of those guys who were in the top 10 of one of these guys. So
I don't know if he was ever in my top 10, but I can.
Right, he's not. But I'm just saying free agent. I'm talking about free agents last year. Yeah, free agents. I'm not talking about the whole shebang. But I mean, the guy is but we don't need a top 10 tight end though. That's the one thing. I don't need George Kittle if we've got these other guys that are coming around and sprinkling through. I rather have mid-range guys who are good at their craft instead of having one elite guy who you're going to depend your whole offense on, and that means your offense is going to be make or break. It's good to have these guys, but if you just have a bunch of crackers and you only got one peanut butter there, man, it ain't
to be
work
fair,
out.
if you go look at the Super Bowl champions, tight ends actually are pretty important. George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski, Zach Ertz. There's been a lot of great tight ends that have.
What did Zach Ertz do in that Super Bowl? What did Zach Ertz do in that Super Bowl?
Didn't he score a touchdown?
Did Zach Ertz score a touchdown?
I thought he dove into the end zone, right?
He did. And then you bring up George. I think he did. I don't remember. Yeah, he did. You bring up George Kittle. George Kittle didn't win no Super Bowl.
You're right. He didn't win. He just won.
They didn't win.
He just
Kelce
won.
did.
Correct.
Gronk, I'll give you Gronk and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can also have guys who are pretty good running backs. But when you say these guys, Nick Foles was playing out of his mind in that playoff. He played out of his mind in that Super Bowl. And then
tight ends don't win by themselves. Tight ends don't win by themselves.
That's what I'm saying. Like the guys that you mentioned, they had pretty good quarterbacks. Mahomes and Brady ain't nothing to stick your nose out at, man.
I mean, okay, that's fair. They definitely were on good teams. Mm-hmm. You're not going to win a Super Bowl on a bad team.
Complete teams, Tim. They were on complete teams.
Yeah, definitely Tampa Bay last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you could go on further. I'm not even going to argue it. I'm just going to do it. It's fine. I'm not even going to try to sit here and think about the past ones and try to.
I got you thinking. Those questions make you go,
obviously, they won a Super Bowl. They were fans.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not going to sit here and nitpick. Trent Dilfer won a Super. No, just kidding. Okay, no.
Oh God, don't do that. Don't do that because hey man, with us this year, our fans are like, oh, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Ryan Fitzpatrick can do that. I'm like, you really? We got Peter Boulware, we got Ray Lewis coming out. Ray Lewis gonna murder somebody on defense or something like that. Who's our All Pro? Who's our Sharper? Or Jermaine Lewis. Who's our Jermaine Lewis on the punt return? Yeah, no, Jermaine Lewis was the punt return.
Oh,
Jamal Lewis was the running back. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, who's it? And then also they had Priest Holmes in that backfield too. So I'm like, who? We got Antonio Gibson.
Priest Holmes of the Ravens?
Yeah, Priest Holmes. That was Priest Holmes last year on the Ravens.
Okay, fair enough. I was pretty young back then.
Yep.
So. All right. Well, we disagree on the Logan Thomas, and the one thing that I'll give on is I like that it's only a $10 million guarantee, so we can escape it if we need to pay some of the guys that I talked about. So that's the one thing I'll give. All right. Ryan's press conference today, and first off, the audio quality of a multi-billion-dollar company is unbelievably bad. And I don't know what was going on. You didn't listen. You said you read the transcript. Totally the right thing to do. But there was also this, horrible, screeching noise, every 5 seconds or so. And, the mic volume was so low, you're, jamming your speaker into your head, into your ear. And then that noise came through and you wanted to bleed. It was so bad. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
And this press conference could have been done by Dr. Fauci, because basically every single question was COVID related throughout this. There was barely any football talk throughout this entire thing. I think he was on for maybe 10 minutes, and 9 minutes and 30 seconds was COVID discussion. So I didn't want to talk about it, but we will talk a little bit about it. And the big thing that I saw was, first off, we're only a little bit over 50% vaccinated. We have to get to 85%, I believe. There's some rules with that.
Mm-hmm.
But Ron Rivera definitely, because he's been maintaining a aura of, I'm not forcing people to do it. I'm just trying to teach them, and they're going to have to make their own decisions. But he actually visibly showed frustration. And he literally said it. I'm extremely frustrated because he's got to wear a mask because he's immune deficient.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously had cancer last year, and he's got to wear the mask. And when he's around a group of guys that he knows is unvaccinated.
Right.
So, do you have any thoughts on these COVID-related stuff?
I mean, you kind of go back to what you just said about the 10 minutes press conference, 9 minutes COVID, of course. And I remember I read that question. It was like far down there too. So he probably got tired of hearing that, probably dealing with, especially people like DeAndre Hopkins, who came out and said, he doesn't want to get the shot because this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And I'm kind of like with Ron, right? I had COVID. And I've also had the shot. I think people, if you want to be educated on it, you should be educated on it, right? But I think that everybody kind of and I might go on a soapbox here. Everybody thinks they're a doctor, right? Everybody thinks they're a doctor.
WebMD.
Right.
Did I not get my degree?
Right. Yeah, we're gonna go listen to Dr. Dre, and he's gonna tell us about this, man. Experience is the best learner. I'm like, I was sick as a dog. I had a sore throat and everything, and it was the worst I had ever felt in my life. But I encourage everybody. I'm like, hey, you need to think about this a little bit closer. And Ron, a guy who had cancer, and he's putting himself out on the line. He could have laid down last year and said, "Oh, guys, you know what? I got cancer. Can't do this in a COVID year. Sorry. I'll see you in about a month, right?" Mm-hmm. What message is that sending? That's what I think Ron is like. He's like, I sat up here and I was an example for you guys, and you can't be that courteous, maybe even to talk to me about it. Mm-hmm. It's not, it's people. The one thing we have, people always want division. That's why we watch sports, right? It's your team against my team. And there's always like, I'm right, you're wrong, whatever, heads, tails, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, at the end of the day, go read up, be educated. I encourage everybody to be educated on it. And that I'll leave it at that, because I know that you can light a fire. You can burn a fire longer than the California wildfires out there if you get on this topic too long.
For sure. I know DMV has had some strong opinions on these kind of things. And and I definitely felt for Ron when he was talking about it up there on the stand, of being extremely frustrated on these things, because it's like, I'm sure he doesn't want to wear a mask. I'm sure he doesn't want to deal with all these protocols. He doesn't want to deal with all this nonsense. And it's like, well, these are the kind of things I have to deal with. Mm-hmm. Either way, no matter how you slice it. Like, this is not an option for me. This is life for me. And and especially if I had a job where I'm making multi-millions of dollars, taking a vaccine that's been tested every which way to Sunday. Mm-hmm. Except for long-term, because it's only been a year and a half, so quote-unquote long-term effects. But I think there's plenty of evidence that the vaccine is working, and it's not killing people at all. So, I mean, and nobody's coming back and being like, my lungs are shot or something because of the vaccine. It doesn't. Hold
on, Tim. My heart's about to explode over here. Give me a sec. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm just, exactly. I'm just saying, but.
For sure. Ron was white, unacceptable. The players can't get vaccinated. Yeah, it is. It's especially in a team situation, because you got people relying on you in this situation, and whatever it is, whatever the reason is, I don't know the reason. But it sounds like a lot of also there's clearly a lack of education. Like, you heard the Montez Sweat situation where he's like, have you got vaccinated? No, I haven't got vaccinated. Why haven't you got vaccinated? Well, I've never got COVID, so why would I get vaccinated? It's like, oh, God. God.
Okay.
And everybody, all the reporters were just silent after that. All right, let's just move forward. We're not going to continue to go down this road.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's like you saying, you know what that sounds like? That's like like if you're getting ready to take a test or something, right? And you tell the teacher, well, I didn't study because, I never took a test before. Do what? like really? You get like it's just, and you have an option. People are saying this is being forced on them, right? You have an option.
Mhm.
You can do it. It was like Rick Dennis said, right? You have an option. You can coach in the NFL, get the vaccine, whatever, or don't coach. That's your options.
Mhm.
This is not rocket science. You can go on and do what you want to do, but as for me in my house, you're going to have to do it this way because the Shield is going to play. The Shield is going to make its money. And you got, heaven forbid that we are agreeing with Jerry Jones on this stuff. That is the most disgusting thing. I feel so disgusted. I was like, I agree with this senile old man right here. And I was like, oh, crap, that's Jerry Jones. That's like, dude, if me and Jerry Jones can agree on this, Lord have mercy, there must be something like this is the one thing that can bring us all together.
You know what? This is actually an interesting take, like not the entire thing, but the idea that since we were one of the best, if not the best, statistically when it comes to COVID last year, do you think this actually might hurt our case to get vaccinated? Where some people are like, hey, we did great last year. Why can't we just do it again? Like, why is this such a big deal? Like, I don't want to go get vaccinated. We didn't miss any games. We had one player get it, and he wasn't even on the 53-man roster at the time because he was hurt. So why are we all worried about if I get the vaccine or not? And it may actually end up hurting the process of getting vaccinated.
I think so. And then I think you're 110% correct right there, Tim, that it could be like, we kept this clean, right? But why do we need to get the vaccine now? And then you also look at it. I think there's a good signal too. And I'm hoping because the Shays of Everett and somebody else didn't, they're on a non-football illness. Maybe they got the vaccine and maybe that's the side effect of it. So hopefully those guys will be ready to rock and roll. And now you and I are going to talk about this in a few minutes too. Cornelius Lucas is on the COVID-19. He misses 10 days of competition.
That's huge.
That is huge for him in this situation, man.
For sure. It is. It is. All right. Well, I think we beat this vaccine topic.
Yes, we have.
And the one actually football-related big takeaway from this press conference was the reiteration of somebody asked, is Ryan Fitzpatrick going to get all the reps with the ones? And Ron Rivera said straight up no. Like, everybody's going to get opportunities to come out here, and because he brought up Dwayne Haskins again, he thought he messed up last year. Do you think there actually could be a semblance of a true quarterback competition between these three guys?
Tim.
Yeah.
Like, are we really talking about this right now? Yeah, no, there's no quarterback competition. It's going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick to start. And then Ron is going to be like, oh, God, this guy's terrible.
He's going to make another mistake.
Yes, it's going to be like, we're going to see Heineke. Like, we're going to see Heineke. I don't know if we're going to see Bumleg Allen, but we're going to see Taylor Heineke. It might be sooner than later. Now, I just want to preface this by saying to everybody, Washington in previous years has been like the preseason Super Bowl champions, right? We go like 3-1, 4-0, 3-1, maybe 2-2 once in a while. But if we get this with twos and Taylor Heineke is going out here and like blazing the world on fire, calm down. These are 2s and 3s. Buckle up, kids. This is going to be, it's not a competition, man. It's not a competition.
Do you think Heineke starts game 2?
No.
So Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to start the first two.
I think because game 2 is going to be probably that tune-up game.
Well, yeah. That's another point because usually it's game 3. Right. Is usually the tune-up game.
Yeah.
So maybe I think game 2.
Yeah. So I think you'll see Heineke start maybe game 3.
Do you think you see Ryan Fitzpatrick in all 3 games?
No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
So just 2.
Yeah, I think 2 maybe.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, that's going to lead right into, we're going to finish this up with predicting all the training camp battles. There's a bunch of them, and there's actually a lot of competition not named the quarterback position. So we're going to have to go ahead and get into them. But before we get into it, because actually, never mind, we already got into it. You said it's going to be Fitz. I agree, it's going to be Fitz. I don't think there's a real competition either. Taylor Heineke has never started a game where he hasn't gotten hurt.
Exactly.
So there's not a lot of trust in Taylor Heineke coming from them, even though he had a great he played well in the Carolina game, and he obviously played phenomenally in the playoff game. But we're talking about our options at quarterback. Should we and do we actually take a look at a Watson trade? I was going to say Rodgers, but it sounds like he actually is agreeing to stay in Green Bay. But do we honestly take a serious look at Deshaun Watson and making the move?
If there's an injury, I would definitely consider making a move. If there's an injury to Ryan Fitzpatrick or Heineke, I think that you've got to make Fitzpatrick before Heineke, right? I think you have to think about that, because at the end of the day, this could be an issue that you get solved sooner than later, right? And you might have to give up a little bit for him. And I know that he has the court dates and everything, but according to, I think, The Athletic, I saw come on my phone that they're going to let him go forward without any issues. Deshaun Watson's going to be able to play, practice, all that good stuff.
Until the final verdict.
And even to that, Tim, look at what we're doing. We are rationalizing a journeyman, a career journeyman, and a guy who gets hurt in every start that he's ever played in as the next greatest thing for the Washington football team, whatever you want to call us. That is like, why are we rationalizing? We are so destitute. We're so hurt and damaged that we're making Rex Grossman and John Beck our saviors. That's pretty much what these guys are.
When Ron Rivera said that Ryan Fitzpatrick may be a next tier option, I was scared.
Yeah.
Please no.
Yeah.
I'm okay with a stopgap, drafting a guy in the first round next year, and let's move forward. We got Heineke for 2 years, so he could be our backup, or potentially a starter week 1 if we need to move the rookie along a little bit slower. But please don't let me see a 40-year-old Ryan Fitzpatrick in burgundy and gold next year.
I mean, you know what? This is what Taylor Heineke is. He's the gas station version of Nick Foles in the playoffs. That's exactly what he was. He was the gas station version of him, right? Yeah. We want to pull up, get it, go, good. Because we're going for, like, there's shirts of us glorifying this man on a playoff loss. It is the most asinine thing in the world.
He was fun to watch that playoff
game.
He was
great to watch. But this is what I'm saying. He's not a proven commodity, man.
Oh, look at this. Watch Steven Montez turn out to be our secret sauce at QB.
You know what? At this point, I've heard so much about Montez. My boy Third Down, who comes in my comments all the time. He's been a Montez dude for since last year. And you know what? Why not? We trying to make everybody else do it. Maybe Kyle Allen is the guy. Who knows, man?
Fair enough. What is Nye saying here? I think something that's under-discussed. Rodgers can now choose essentially where he goes in 2022. I think this improves the chances he comes to DC because, Green Bay would trade him to AFC otherwise. This increases. Did he say, this improves the chances?
Yeah.
Would that improve it? I don't think I don't want to trade for Watson or Rodgers next year.
Right.
I don't want to. I'm looking now.
Yeah.
Because I like the QBs coming out next year. I haven't done all my digging into all of them yet, but there does seem to be a handful of guys, maybe even 6 dudes that could potentially go in the first round. So that's almost anywhere we line up, we're within striking distance of getting a guy that's worth taking in the first round, whether we have to trade up like Pat Mahomes or whatever the case may be. So next year, I'm not looking at an aging vet again. I'm
Right.
looking. We got our team built. We've paid Jonathan Allen. I think we're going to pay Duran next year. We're going to pay Terry next year probably. We're going to pay the guys that we need to stay. We had a great draft this year, hopefully. Knock on wood, but everybody gave us an A. It seems like we've got a pretty good situation. I'm ready to draft a first-round rookie QB next year, even if we have to trade a first round and a third or something to move up from wherever we are, right? So I don't want to do it next year. So I think it decreases if we have to wait till next season, because I think Ron also Ron and company kind of have that mindset as well. We're building, we're setting up for a nice future. Now let's go ahead and pull the trigger on a young QB next year. Do you agree with that, or do you think I'm out of bounds?
Yeah, sustainability is the key right there. And also, Tim, if you look at this, Washington has the two oldest quarterbacks in the NFC East when it comes to possible starters. If you look at Taylor Heineke, he's 28, which is older than Dak Prescott. And then you got Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not going to add in Colt McCoy because I don't think he's going to be starting for the Giants unless something happens to old Danny Boy. But we've got the two oldest possible starting quarterbacks in the division. So, I mean, the fact that we have this myth that Heineke is the future, I would look into one of these rookie quarterbacks. You got Howell coming out, Spencer Rattler, I like him. Desmond Ritter up there, Cincinnati. Yeah, a lot of these guys. The homeboy from
Liberty.
Yeah, old Flaming Flamer over there. Him. Malik Willis.
Malik. Okay,
yeah. So I mean, you've got guys who have potential to be good at the next level, and it's about sustainability and winning. But you're also Ron. Why did Ron make a push for the NFC East? Because he saw that it was attainable. You're not going to sit down here and wait. You're not going to wait on anything. You got to go and grab it if something's in your if it's in your sight. You're going to go ahead and grab that division, right? He saw that, they went, they won, they conquered it. It's the same. It's the same thing this year. You've got to do what's in front of you. The prognosticators saying this is the best team in the NFC East, right? You've got to live up to expectation, and I expect us to go out there and be that. And if they aren't, that's a fail. But Ron did say this is a 3-year process. He said to get the culture right, it's going to take about 3 years. He said that in his opening press conference. And we've seen going into year 2 now that there has been a change. Now is this just laying out the linoleum and everything, or are we actually putting down the carpet and everything? Are we putting down the floor? Are we done with the installation? We're still building the house, man.
Yeah, I want a rookie quarterback. If we,
I hear you.
I think we're a team that can win this year.
Yeah.
If you dropped Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson on this team, we're contenders immediately. Immediately. Even if we have to trade Deron Payne in the deal, right?
Yeah.
I think we're definitely contenders. But I'm doing that this year. I'm doing that now. I'm not waiting an extra season. That's just where I'm at in this situation. All right, enough about the quarterback. Now let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty training camp battles. All right, I'm going to start moving through the offense. Then we'll switch over to the defense, and then we'll call it a show. And I'm just going to say it now. Thanks again for stopping by, Corey. It's been a lot of fun already. And now let's go ahead and get into these. All right. So we're going to start with maybe the second most important position on the offense, and any offense, the left tackle. And we got a couple of decent options. And if you think there could be a wild card, I wrote down options here. But if you think there could be a wild card, definitely pipe up. But left tackle, the obvious contenders, Lucas, who we just talked about had the COVID, Leno Jr., or Samuel Cosmi, the second-round pick. Who do you have right now starting at left tackle?
Leno. He's never started anywhere else in his career. He's left tackle. Lucas backed him up in Chicago, I do believe, for a little bit. And he's got almost 100 appearances, I think, at left tackle. He's your clear-cut left tackle going into next season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it in that respect. It's Charles Leno Jr.
See, I wrote down Lucas. because I thought he played it really, really well last
He
year
did.
at the left tackle spot. And I think West, well, never mind, I'm going to save that. But I think there's going to be continuity over on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, we talked about this with the COVID list. It's probably not supposed to affect your starting job,
Mm-hmm.
but the frustration Ron Rivera showed, if you haven't got the vaccine and you got COVID, you might be on some sort of crap list, right?
Yep.
And so I have to actually change what I wrote down here and actually agree with you. Leno Jr. should be and will be most likely the starting left tackle for the Burgundy and Gold. Now we'll go ahead and swing over to the other side, right tackle. So if you got Leno, does the second round pick start, or is Lucas going to earn the right tackle job?
Yeah, it's gonna be Cosme. Youth movement, man. I think I like Cosme. I think Ron has been big on these early round talents, and this is a guy that they didn't think Cosme was going to be there when they picked too. He is athletic, and then I think if they do believe Leno is like this stopgap left tackle, and then move Cosme over later on, then so be it. I mean, you gave up Morgan Moses. You said, hey, you can go kick dirt, dude, because we believe in what we have here. And I think believing in what we have here is Cosme at the end of the day, because I think Lucas, for all what it's worth now, and we don't know, it could be one of these situations where he does have that he got vaccinated and he tested positive. We don't know, but I'm not going to call him on the crap list on that one. But yeah, I like Cosme there, man. Give me the youngin.
I am going to still go Lucas, even with the COVID thing. As I said, I think he had a great year last year. And my assessment of the film when I watched Cosme is I think he needs a year. I think he needs to grow up a little bit, okay? I didn't like his anchor in the pass game. As you said, he's super quick. The measurables were through the roof, okay? That's why he's a second-round pick. And he does have talent. I'm not sitting here trying to complain.
Right.
But I believe it was the Oklahoma game that I was not impressed with him at all when he went up against that Oklahoma defense. He was getting pushed back into the quarterback all day long. He couldn't really keep his feet under him. So the stuff that I watched, I think he needs to sit a year. But I think he still could be a talented tackle in the league. Most likely right tackle, in my opinion. I think we're going to maybe have to do another move for left tackle next year. But I think Lucas is going to earn it, and I think Cosme, who knows, maybe an injury pushes it forward, and maybe he starts somewhere along the way. But I think next year he's going to solidify a definite starting role. But I'm not counting him out. But I'm going to take Lucas in this discussion.
Yeah, John Matsko, man. He'll have Cosme ready. Him and Travell Wharton will have that young man ready.
You know what though? As usual, I hope the other people I'm talking to are right, because usually I'm like I like to call myself a realist. Some maybe call me a pessimist. I don't know. Whatever. I usually hope other people are correct when I say, like your Logan Thomas take. I hope you're right. I hope he is Gronk 2.0 by the time.
I didn't say Gronk 2.0 now, but yeah, we get it.
No. All right. Staying on the offensive line. Obviously, we know the right guard. We know the center. Those are staples. Left guard is actually arguably the most interesting situation here on the offensive line. Eric Flowers just got traded for. Wes Switzer had a good year last year. And then we have Sadiq Charles, who knows where he's going to end up starting. He could be a guy that is trying to get that left tackle spot of the future. Who knows? And then they drafted a guy, Ismail, who was actually pretty interesting. I believe San Diego State. But who do you think gets an option at that left guard spot?
I think it's going to be the guy we traded for that we got back in the fold. I think at the end of the day, I think this is Ron Rivera's way of saying, oh, man, hey, we made a mistake. Let's bring back Eric Flowers at left guard, man. Bring back Eric Flowers. You put him at left guard. And to be honest, I think this is the best situation that we've had at guard in a long time. And
especially
when I say
that left guard, right?
Yeah, especially at that left guard. God. But, with Brandon Sheriff's injuries history and him backing into an all-pro, I think that you have Schweitzer now. You have homeboy from LSU who only played three downs last year. I think you can add them guys over there on the right side. So I think Schweitzer might come up on the right side eventually. Or, why can't Sadiq Charles? I couldn't think of his name for the longest time. And, but I like Eric Flowers right there, man. I think you put him there with Leno, and then you put Flowers there. Let's rock and roll. And plus, it's basically free money. It's free money. You're playing right there at the left guard too. So why not? Why not? Because Miami's playing them too, paying them for the most of that money.
We'll see. I don't hate the idea of Flowers. I do think that's pretty much the competition, Flowers and Switzer. But I still got Wes. We had one of the better offensive lines in the league last year. A lot of people don't realize that. According to PFF, I believe we were 6th on the list. And Wes Switzer was a part of it. And I think that Wes Switzer is going to continue to earn that spot. You saw the workout videos. He seems to be pretty athletic as well. But no, I think that we're going to stay with what we have. I think Eric Flowers was brought in for depth because as you like to say, the one thing's for certain is Brandon Sheriff's going to be out for a month. Eric Flowers could easily step in to that right guard. Or maybe they'll move Wes to the right and Eric at left if they think Eric is the better at left and Wes can actually move. Who knows? But I think that Wes ends up getting that left guard spot. So 3 for 3, we disagree. Probably means that I'm going to be wrong all the way. But
I hope so.
We'll see.
No, I could agree with you. Look, I might with the Wes Schweitzer one. I think I'll be wrong on that because I just went back and looked at it. He ranked out higher on Pro Football Focus than Eric Flowers did, and it's kind of a gap there. So I think you might be right on that situation, but I liked what Eric Flowers did back in 2019 in the Burgundy and Gold.
1 for 3. That's a good baseball stat line.
There you go.
Here we go. No, all right. Tight end. The backup tight end, obviously, we just paid Logan. We know he is the numero uno. And who's going to be the second and third tight end on this team? I only put third. I don't know why, because second could be is there an obvious second that I'm just not thinking of right now? Oh, John Bates. That's
Johnny Bates, yeah.
So I was correct with what I wrote down, because John Bates obviously going to make the team. We spent a 4th-round draft pick on him. So who's going to get that third, or do you think they might keep 4?
I think they're going to keep 4.
Oh, you think they're going to keep 4?
I think they're going to keep 4. I think
back up too.
See, I think Ricky Seals-Jones is going to be the third, and I think Sammis Reyes is going to be number 4, just because of the potential that he has. And we're going to see how he does in preseason. I think he's going to get a lot of work in the preseason, and but I think Ricky Seals-Jones, his red zone stats are pretty good. He was one of Baker Mayfield's red zone targets back in, 19, I believe. So I think this guy, I like what he can do, but I think it's going to be Bates. And for whatever it's worth, Tim, these guys will combine for more than 3 catches and 18 yards. That's the only thing that's really the only number I care about.
You set the bar so high.
I'm trying to, man. Hey, Sadiq Charles, all I need 4 plays out of you, man. And you're the most improved player next year. So.
Oh, man. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. No, I think they're only going to keep 3. And I think Seals-Jones is definitely interesting. But I'm excited about Sammis Reyes. I like Sammis, okay? Because the main thing that he's going to have to work on is in the blocking game. I personally have no worries about a basketball player translating into a receiving tight end. We've been doing it for years. Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Julius Thomas for Denver. I mean, the list could go on and on and on for basketball players translating to the tight end spot, because you can catch. If you're a basketball player, you can catch. You got to be able to catch and shoot. You never body catch in basketball. You also have to have great footwork inside, whether you're a big man or outside, because you got to work on the post. You got to have some good footwork. The one thing that does not translate, that you're going to have to figure out and learn, because I know this, I played basketball all my life. I walked onto the football team. Blocking is a whole different ball game when you're trying to stop a 250 to 300 pound dude from getting where he wants to go. It's not easy for anybody. So, but he has the measurables to have the potential to do those things. So he's obviously super strong, built, and so I like Sammis Reyes. And they went out and got him early. I think Sammis Reyes earns that third spot. I think Seals-Jones is going to get cut and find his way on another team, to be honest. That's my opinion. Okay. The final 3 wide receiver spots. So we got Terry, we got Curtis, and De'Ami Brown, 3rd-round pick, is definitely going to make the squad. Do they keep 3 more, 6 or 7? Maybe you have to keep a punt returner. Who do you got in the final position of the wide receiver?
Cam Sims.
Okay,
Cam Sims. I like Harmon. I like Harmon because the man has his own orbit. I've said this before. You throw something to him, he's going to catch it. And then I like Dax Milne. The way he runs routes, and I think he could be. If he can field a punt, I think he's going to be all right. We just need somebody to field. We don't need explosiveness because
Yeah.
it's very simple. You know, we could have beat the Panthers if number 15, who will remain nameless on here, Steve Sims Jr., had to put the ball on the carpet, right? So I like Dax. The more I see out of him, hopefully he can be healthy. And he'll stay healthy and everything. Kelvin Harmon. Notice I did not say AGG. Notice I did not say that because I think at the end of the day, homeboy, he did not live up to expectation. I mean, he had some putrid numbers. I think he still had more receiving.
He had a catch.
Yeah, he had. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. He did. He only had that. He had that end around, right, against Cleveland, that 22-yard end around.
Yeah, I think he only had a drop. I don't think he had a catch all year.
Hold on, I got notes. I got his notes here. Hold on, I can tell you that.
I didn't look this up
either. He might have had a catch for 3 yards, Tim.
Antonio Gandy Golden.
Yeah, he may have had a catch for 3 yards if I'm looking at this right.
I'm gonna pull up a stat sheet.
Yeah.
Double check you.
Yeah, double check me. I know he had 22 rushing.
1 catch, 3 yards.
Holy, look at that.
On 7 targets. 7 targets, 1 catch, 3 yards. What a goat. What a goat.
What a goon.
And I was excited about this. I mean, I did a breakdown of the draft last year. I gave this pick an A in the 4th round. I thought he was a very interesting dude. He came out of Liberty as well, right?
Yep.
And I thought he was a very interesting dude. Seemed like a smart guy, driven dude. So I was very interested in him as well. But I agree with you. I think AGG misses this. And I actually agree with all 3 of your spots, except I have them keeping 4. And I think Adam Humphries stays with the team. I don't know if Dax Milne's going to be ready to keep that slot spot. And also, he's the only one that has played with Fitzpatrick before. So I think that's going to also help him just get looks because they're already going to be on some sort of similar page. And he did play well in Tampa. He was a dud in Tennessee, but Tampa, he was actually a pretty good wide receiver, especially in that slot. Yeah. I think that we're going to actually keep 7 wide receivers, and Adam Humphries and Milne makes the chair. And I also have him as a punt returner.
I think Humphries is going to win the Jordan Reed Concussion Award, Concussion Player of the Year award. That's what I think is going to happen with him because God love him. That's what happens with him all the time. But I can see Humphrey staying here. Hey, we can say we agree on this, though. We can say we agree on this one. I'll chalk that one up to an agreement on you with that one. So, what are we 2 for 4? We're
it's not good right now. It's not good.
It's good 50-50, man. We're 50-50.
Hey, we're having fun.
All right, yeah.
We're having fun. No, all right. So we're moving on to the defensive side. And there is a competition here at the defensive line, okay? But we obviously know our 4 starters, the 2 interior backups are pretty much set in stone as long as no trades happen. It's the backup defensive ends that are the big question mark of what's going to happen. I have written down Tuhill, Smith Williams, Bradley King, and Shaka Toney, potential backups. There's a couple of other guys on the roster. I don't really think they have much of a chance. 3 draft picks, and then Tuhill, who actually seemed to play decent last year. Who do you have as the backup? Do they keep 2, 3 backups? What do you got?
Well, you know who I'm going with at first. My man, William Bradley King. I think that guy. That was the only guy.
Speaking of agreement.
Yeah,
me and you both had us picking in the 7th round.
Yeah. I had him picking in that 7th round. I think I had the pick wrong, but I was like, I think that's the only person I got right on the mock draft too. I said, oh, okay, but like his moves, man. He was also former Red Wolf at Arkansas State, and he won Sun Belt. He was a Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year. I think this is somebody that Chase Young can learn from, right? Because of the moves. He is a move master if you go and look at his tapes. That's something Chase can learn there. Um,
Oh, somebody brought up a good point. I don't know why
yeah.
I didn't bring up the running
Ooh,
backs on offense.
ooh,
I didn't write that down at all. We'll come
huh.
back to it. We'll
Okay.
circle back. Finish the defensive end. We'll circle back.
James Smith-Williams, I like him too. Casey Toohill, but I think at the end of the day, I think they'll stay in house with this. If James Smith-Williams is healthy, I think it'll be him too because of the strength that he can add to there. I think he was one of the strongest people when he was at NC State. And Shaka Toney, he's going to be a hybrid type player anyway because they're going to stand him up and put him on the end. So there, I'll give you 3 right there. I think just because by default with Toney.
I only have Toohill and King,
Mm-hmm.
and Smith Williams is talk about an injury waiting to happen. He got hurt during the combine. He cut
That's
himself on the high jump. Okay, and somehow he finds a way to always get hurt. But that's not only the reason why. I know that Chris loves him, but I also love Bradley King. And if he teaches Chase Young a spin move,
Yes, come on.
Come on. If I ever meet Chase Young, I'm going to talk to him about the spin move. I'll talk
to him tomorrow.
There you go.
I'll talk to him tomorrow about it. I say, look at that spin move, Chase, and then they're gonna throw me out of Richmond.
He has to be studying Dwight Freeney tape.
Yes.
He's got to be that should be a mandatory 30 minutes of him watching Dwight Freeney.
Julius
nightly.
Peppers.
Yeah.
Julius Peppers played for Ron Rivera in the twilight years, man. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, and I think he would be if he learns the spin move, sky's the limit. He could be one of the best defensive pass rushers of all time if he learns that spin move. So I hope that is on the to-do list. And apologies, somehow I did skip the running back, and we're gonna have to just free flow this one because I didn't write anything down, but I think we can handle it. So we got, of course, Gibson. We got J.D. McKissick, Peyton Barber, Lamar Miller, and Jarrett Patterson. The 5 potential running backs, how many do we keep and who stays?
So I think you've got Gibson, who's going to say Gibson and McKissick because
I don't know. It's like, no, I'm just kidding.
McKissick, man, Lord, the fantasy owners would be mad at if McKissick didn't get on there. Well, he was he was a PPR MVP last year. So, then it gets interesting, right? I don't think there's a serious conversation about Lamar Miller. I still today the guy's gonna be 30, and we know what running backs after 30 are. Jarrett Patterson, hopefully the mileage that he incurred at Buffalo isn't detrimental to him. And I still Peyton Barber isn't anything great. But he does the small. Yeah, are you on
Barber?
Yeah, 2-yard Barber. But when we need those 2 yards,
he does it on 4th and 1. He does it on 4th and 1.
He does it on 4th and 1, 4th and short. You look at the 3 games that he scored a touchdown in. 2 out of the 3 games that he scored a touchdown and we won. 2 against Philadelphia week 1, and then Pittsburgh he had the key touchdown.
Hey, I'm just gonna start saying this.
Yeah.
Did we just win when we scored touchdowns? Is that what's going on? It seems like I think we had such problems on offense.
Yeah, you talk about the yeah, exactly. But you talk to the Chargers about scoring touchdowns and not winning. So
that's true. That's true. They scored a lot of them.
Yeah.
Go ahead. With Barber, he's obviously when he scored, we win.
Yeah, I think those 4. I think those 4 guys will still be in the fold at the end of all of this, and I think we're going to take 4 running backs into the stable, and if we take 3, I think Peyton Barber, like I said last year, thought he was going to be the odd man out, but then Adrian Peterson got surprisingly cut, and then Geis was being Darius Geis, so we never know. We never know. Peyton Barber might be the starting running back come week 1. I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? God forbid,
Right?
Because obviously it's not going to be due to cuts. I'm not even going to mention. We're just going to keep on moving.
Gloss over that, right?
I actually completely agree. So, and I full of transparency, I just forgot the running backs, but maybe my subconscious was saying there's really not a competition there because Lamar Miller was average when he was in his prime.
Yeah,
he was average when he was in his prime. He's clearly past his prime. Hasn't played in, I think, 2 years, right? So he hasn't played in a while.
Yeah, I don't think he's
completely agree.
had. Yeah, I mean, it's not a serious conversation
Yeah.
at all.
So yeah, maybe subconsciously I just said we don't need to talk about the running backs,
You're
and
like,
who knows? But no, all right, we'll keep on going. And I wrote down middle linebacker, but I'm going to say fill in the rest of the starting group as well. But Davis or Bostic, who wears that green sticker on the back of his helmet?
I'm gonna say Davis.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
Davis because Davis is gonna win because of the coverage skills. And the only reason why that is, we probably play more of that big nickel, right? And that's what Bostic was a liability in last year, was coverage. Like, he ran away from coverage. Like there are clearly tapes of him where he ran away from. And I love John Bostic. He made Andy Dalton poop on himself. I mean, I love him for that. Now I'll never. And Nati loves him. That A gap blitz he had against Philadelphia. I think it was it his tip where he got the interception and the stop against Pittsburgh. The guy, he comes up when you need him on important downs. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's going to be Jamin and at that middle linebacker spot, because I think you're going to need him to cover. And this is Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio's pet project. That's exactly what it is. And if they can't get this right, I've said it before, if they can't get this right, we've got more problems than just linebacker room.
True, especially behind that front four.
Yeah.
He's going to be in a pretty good situation. But no, I have Bostic. Bostic. He's obviously the vet in the room.
Right.
I think he's going to, for one more year, have the green sticker and be the play caller for us. I have Jamin Davis as our I don't care which side he plays. I think that him and Cole Holcomb being the other starter, they could flip flop. I don't think one of them will be a single, weak side backer, strong side backer thing. I think that they'll move them around because I think they're both talented enough. And also, I kind of have this mindset of the outside backers having the great speed. Obviously, Jamin Davis, athletic freak. Cole Holcomb, no slouch of his own. So you got the outside having the speed to get to the sidelines, and then John Bostic can do what he wants in the middle, because he did get a lot of tackles last year. I completely agree, he wasn't great in the pass game, but we'll see what, maybe he could just camp out there in the middle, play zone all the time, and read his keys and see if anybody comes across the middle. We'll see.
He's still gonna run away from them when they come across the middle, Tim. But look, the one thing I will say,
all I'm asking you to say is stay. Just don't. You don't have to run at him. You don't have to run towards him. Just stay.
He ain't no dog, man. He gonna stay. This ain't you gonna give him a treat for that. Just like kill. Like I just said, just send him on a blitz. Send him on a blitz on passing downs, and like I won't be mad. Just blitz him the whole time. But yeah.
So if you have Jamin Davis as your middle, who's your outsides?
I think you can move Bostic out there. I think you can move Bostic outside. I think Holcomb as well, too, because Holcomb has deserved this moment. I think he has quietly become a good linebacker in the NFL. Like, we know it, but I don't feel like the rest of the NFL knows what Cole Holcomb is capable of. You also have Khaleke Hudson as well, too, who can come out there, but I still think he might need a little bit more time, and that just is because of his size and everything. And I'd like to see him on special teams. The dude had like 7 blocked punts when he was at Michigan.
Oh, really?
So,
did he not play special teams for us last year?
He may have played a little bit for us. I don't remember if he played. I'd be lying if I told you I knew that or not.
Yeah. I was just on the priority list.
Right. I was just trying to see us stop and score points, which was sometimes far and few and in between with the point side of things. So I just was counting my Logan Thomas winnings over here last year. So
there you go. There you go. All right. We're gonna stay in the linebackers. So who do you have as the backup backers then? Who do we keep 2, 3? How many? Who's a backup linebacker for you?
Tony, of course. Guy, like I think we kind of alluded to that as well. I think that you also have like, oh, God, the backup linebackers are awful though. If you think about, I think Khaleke Hudson will be a backup there too to make it. Now it's gonna be interesting. You got Walker, Mayo. I think we have Harris, who was on special teams last year. Mr. Insider Trading's not there anymore, and Kendrick. So, I, I'm gonna go with familiarity because I know you had Joe Walker, but I'm gonna say what is it, Harris? Is it Harris or Norris or what is that young man's name? Jared Norris, who was on the team last year and contributed on special teams, and he played in Carolina. I'm gonna go with Jared Norris too.
Yep, I agree with Hudson. I agree with Tony, and I picked Joe Walker as the final backup, and he was one of the older ones in the room, so I think the experience may help. He's 28, I believe. Or it was 26 or 28. He was one of the older ones in the room, and he's also one of the. He was only the only one. I'll get this out eventually. He was the only one out of the backups with some speed. He ran a 4.6, while everybody else was like way down the line. And we know, based on this draft, Ron Rivera and company put a what do you call it? I'm losing myself here in this
premium.
A premium on speed. Thank you. And yeah, I think that Joe Walker can find his way in. David Mayo would be the one that I think is really fighting for it. I don't know if Jared Norris, and good for him if he makes it. And I also don't think that this spot is going to make or break our team at all. So, it's kind of just going to be a filler. And who's the best special teamer out of that group may end up being the one that makes the team. It may have nothing to do with his linebacker prowess, everything to do with can he be on every special teams unit. We'll see. All right. We got two positions left here. We got safety, we got corner. Which one do you want to go with?
Let's go safety.
Safety. Who's going to be our starting duo week 1? Okay. And I got Landon, Curl, McCain, Everett, Reeves, and Forrest. I did not mention the last guy because I saw you kick your dude off when he mentioned the curse word of the last dude. So I don't know if you remember that.
Krapke? Yeah, Krapke. He's a corner now, Tim, remember?
Yeah.
We're trying to bring back Jason Sehorn in the Burgundy in Washington. But I think Bobby McCain, he has that prowess, right, to be a free safety. And I think that Cam Curl has done everything for what he deserves. And I said this last year, the guy can play both safety spots. He played a little bit. I think early on at Arkansas, he played free safety, but then moved over to strong safety. The guy would have been a day 2 pick if he was drafted this year. We stole him. Like, don't get it twisted. This guy is talented. We saw when he's put out there. The guy was second on the team in total tackles. I think he led the team in solo tackles last year. And then he had the fumble return for interception, right? 4 touchdown against San Francisco. I think Cam Curl is there. And Landon Collins, he's just going to have to learn. What did we say? We go back to the big nickel spot, right? Landon Collins is going to have to learn, and we're just going to have to bite that. It's kind of like if anybody works in the accounting world, we're just going to have to write that off for this year. That's all. We really are. We're going to have to write it off. Call your accountant. Call the bookends.
I'm serious. I want to cut him.
I do too. I take the hit.
We won't lose any more money this year. We won't really gain anything. I think it's like $160K or something that we gain back if we cut him this year. But we save $16 million next year. Yeah. And that is where the real savings will turn into. And we got the young guys to replace him. We got, of course, Cameron Curl you just talked about. We did go and get Bobby McCain. Jeremy Reeves, he had some gaffes, but he also wasn't horrible. DeShazier Everett, a special team ace we've had for a while, but he could definitely come in and play the safety spot. So, and of course, we drafted Derek Forrest. So we have young guys behind him that I think we could save the money. Achilles injuries are no joke. It has ruined a lot. Junior Gillette, the man, the myth, the legend that never came out. He was only a myth, really. But, so Achilles injuries are no joke.
Yeah,
and
you're right, man.
But saying all that, Landon Collins is going to be our day 1 starter. I think the coaching staff actually likes him a lot more than the fan base. He did come in a little bit overweight. Maybe he thought there was not going to be a season, but they told him some weight. They told him that he was going to be a strong safety, and so we'll see if how he comes into camp. But we're paying him too much money to sit on the bench.
No, you're right.
He's one of our highest paid players, if not the highest paid player right now. It's ridiculous. Going into this year as far as a cap hit, and I just don't see him starting week 1 on the bench unless his Achilles is not right. So I got Achilles and I got Cam Curl, the other one, and McCain I think will find his way on his field, but my understanding is he actually was a slot corner more than anything before moving to free safety. So speaking of corner, who is going to be our starting 3 corners? We got 2 on the outside. We got 1 slot. Who do you have for our starters?
So this is going to be a caveat because it's going to change, I think.
Okay.
I think to begin, because everybody wants St. Juice to be on the outside, right? I think that'll be eventual. I don't think that's going to be off the bat, right? I think you're still going you're going to have William Three Sticks over. We're going to have him. I think Kendall Fuller's going to be on the outside as well too. And for some reason, I don't know why, but he's like the plague. Jimmy Moreland sticks around for some reason. It might be because he's a local kid, but I think he's going to be your starting slot. And then I think once they think St. Juice is right, they're going to kick Moreland back out, right? They're going to kick him. He'll become like your dime back, right? And then you'll have Fuller inside, Juice will go outside. I St. Juice will go outside eventually. I think that's going to be the grand scheme of everything. And I saw what you said in the notes, right? So see, I read my notes. I do my math. I do my studying. So I agree with you to a degree, but I think that will come eventually. But I think early on, I think it's going to start out to where they're going to work that. They're going to work that or phase that in to the actual lineup.
If you are in practice, standing over Terry McLaurin, some BAMF, I think, and use a 3rd round pick.
Yeah,
I love this kid's chances.
Oh, I do.
To start week 1, and I'm picking it. I am going out on record. I'm saying Benjamin St. Juice on the outside, Kendall Fuller on the inside, and I think McCain is going to take Jimmy Moreland's spot. I think Jimmy Moreland, this is going to be the year that Jimmy Moreland is going to start to fade away. His undersized is the reason he sticks around is because what I hear is that he has a great attitude. Like he does not let his size define him. He gets out there. He will go right up in people's faces and show no fear, which is important. If you don't have any fear on the football field, you play a lot faster and you play a lot better. But unfortunately, physics is a thing. Size matters, and I think he may end up making the team technically, but I don't see him being on the field very much. I think we have too much talent at that corner. We've brought in 2 guys. I think McCain could be in that slot as well. We got Fuller, obviously, from last year, and we drafted a guy in the 3rd round. I mean, we basically said, Jimmy, you're not good enough. We got to go get other people, right? I mean, it just is what it is. So I definitely am not on the Jimmy Moreland train, even though I like him.
Right.
As I said, but I just think he's too small to actually be something at this level. Well, that's the training camp battles, and that's a show. We got a bunch of people in the comments. I really appreciate everybody. Johnny Vargas says, can Forrest play kick returner, punt returner? He's got the speed, but I don't know.
Derek Forrest?
Yeah.
I think
he wants to say.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, DeShazer Everett. That's young DeShazer Everett. I think that's what Derek Forrest. I think he's going to replace DeShazer Everett. When everything's said and done, because if you look at their body of work, they're very similar. DeShazer made a living on special teams before he even started this year, and his biggest play wasn't on defense. It was on special teams when he knocked out Darren Sproles, and the team had to come together and pay his fine. It wasn't a dirty hit, but people. It
was definitely an unfortunate situation.
Right.
Bad timing. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was dirty either.
Hey, I mean, it's Philadelphia, and they deserve anything dirty that happens to them anyway. But that's another story for a different day. So I think Derek Forrest is I think he could be good on special teams, but I don't think he's going to be returning any punts. I don't think that's not him. And
I think Dax Milne's going to be our punt returner. And
yes, we agree.
Danny Johnson, I don't know. He wasn't horrible last year. kick returner, but he wasn't good. It was just meh. He just ran
You
forward
talk
most
about
of the time.
somebody who, yeah, but you talk about somebody who's been staying around too, like to play. How in the world does Danny Johnson keep on making this?
Undrafted kid from a small school too. Was he somewhat? Where did he come? I can't remember now.
Let's see
I
here.
think he was a somewhat small school as well. I like Danny Johnson more than I like Jimmy Moreland. I would rather keep him over Jimmy personally. I'm kind of done
Southern.
with Jimmy, but
Yeah.
Southern
University.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. And he actually played great over there. I'm pretty sure in all facets of the game. I think he was actually a pretty big stud over there for Southern. I don't remember all the details, but I remember looking it up when we ended up picking him up a few years ago. But anyway, that's the show, man. I really appreciate you coming on this show, Corey. It was a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you haven't subscribed, I see 21 of y'all here. Go subscribe to On the Warpath. He does great content, especially if you're a Washington football team fan. That's he talks Washington football all the time, like he says on his channel.
Yeah, don't do that to me, Tim. All the time, and today.
We're at it again. No, it's a lot of fun, and he has a lot. As I said, he got a lot of big names in Washington football team around them, whether they're in the organization or somewhere along the lines. So a lot of fun, and really appreciate you coming on. And any last things to say?
No, none at all. Tim, I appreciate you, man, reaching out to me and having me on here. This was a lot of fun. Can't wait to see you and Chris tomorrow night on the podcast, because probably coming back from Richmond, that's what I'll be listening to. So, but it's been a blast, man. And hey, look, I'm in that Discord. Y'all don't think I don't say much in that Discord, but look, it's somebody who, to be honestly, y'all need to put Yuki up in line, man. He be talking some wild stuff up in there. Y'all got to put Yuki on blast. He is wild. He's on something all the time, and that's my boy. And I can say that about him. He know I'm playing with him, but no, man, this is a blast. And hey, I'm just happy for you and what you're doing here, man. You have been the NBA king over the playoffs, doing these streams and everything, man. And keep doing your thing, because it is great to see our team getting recognition and just growing here, man. And we're all a part of this. We're just one big wide open net. And I think some people fail to realize it sometimes, because when when one of us succeed, we all succeed.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. It's not much of a competition for sure. Yeah. It's more of a collaboration.
Yes, sir.
It's a family, even with the other teams. It's really. One of my plans is to have somebody from the opposite team fan base on YouTube come onto the channel throughout the year, whatever team we're playing that week. I've already got a Chargers fan lined up and a Giants fan lined up for week 2. Nice. So that should be fun. And it's going to be a blast coming up this season. And I do play-by-play for all the primetime games as well as the Skins game. So that'll be fun. I usually do Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. So we'll have a lot of fun on that too. But yeah, it was cool. And thanks for coming on. And let me get a love, peace, and hail.
Oh, love, peace, and hail. Until next time. We out.
Okay. Yep. Till next time. See ya!